what PassNinja is a software as a service that allows you to issue Apple and Google Wallet NFC passes. And one of the biggest limitations for people who might have like read about this in the past is that you know, the permissions to be able to issue these passes are typically the biggest roadblock. And so because of the first company that I had, which is in the NFC hardware business, Apple and Google gave us that entitlement, which is what has given way to this company. So, so what is it that I wanted to hack on? So basically, we put together a bunch of tutorials. This is how we, and this is probably too small, so these tutorials are a way of us doing outbound or rather inbound marketing, right? So we put out content, and then, you know, via SEO, or in this case, ChatGPT's even like talking about PassNinja, so it's a great thing. You know, we get inbound interest, and so the demo I wanted to show today is how to log into your macOS computer using your phone's NFC, right? And so this is just a tutorial, and I'll just kind of like demo it real quick. I just made and this is just to, in case we run out of time, I'll show you kind of like what this looks like. So if I lock my screen, right, I'll prompt, pre-prime the wallet, which is just basically doing the bio enablement to either Face ID or Touch ID, authenticate myself, and then put it on the scanner, and then it basically went through. You might have seen it, it's quick, but I'll do it again so that you guys can. So if you notice the down here, basically it's going to do some keystrokes, and it's basically entering the password by way of the NFC interaction. Question?
I have a question, yeah. This is software that's running on the computer, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Can it be deployed via like mass deployment, like I say in an organization, like SCCM or anything? Or
For sure, yeah. It's this way that I did it was using an Apple script,
right?
Which is basically just like a process. So it's like a cron job that's like running in the background, and it detects when the reader is plugged in, and so then it's controlling the reader from the background.
Okay.
So there's like some configurations, like you don't want the keystrokes, for instance, to be showing your password in the clear. So as soon as the desktop is unlocked, it tells the reader, hey, stop doing the keystroke injection, right?
Okay.
So that you don't like mistakenly put your password, you know, in a double scan. So there's like a little bit of background stuff, but yeah, you can deploy that script, you know, by way of any type of, you know, IT infrastructure.
Okay. And are there any like limitations when it comes to like the hardware for like the computer?
Yeah. So the readers that we sell, actually we have several. I'll go to that page since you're asking. It'll take a moment to load. So the readers that we sell, they support several different like interfaces. This one in particular, it's from a company in the UK. It's called the VTAP. It has keyboard emulation. So that's why it's able to do the keystroke injection without any type of application in the middle, right? All the application that I'm telling you about, this sort of like background process, is just controlling so that it moves it from being keystroke injection to back to, you know, not doing anything when it's unlocked, right? So it's just to manage that part. But in terms of like drivers or anything, you don't need anything. It acts like a keyboard.
Got it. And they could be connected to like an Active Directory type scenario.
Yep.
So an LDAP.
Sure.
I can get all that.
So that, and we'll get to that actually. Let's move on, and I'll
Sure.
get to that specifically. But great questions, and that's actually.
Quick question.
Go ahead.
Can you use this for like multi-factor authentication?
Yeah. So essentially, what the wallet is doing is MFA or 2FA using the bio, right? So whether it's Face ID, Touch ID, or your PIN code, that's the second form of authentication, aside from the password that you've deployed into this particular pass, right? So into the pass, we've put the password, and so then the second form is the fact that you need to authenticate to the wallet before the wallet presents the pass encrypted password to the reader. There's a few layers of security involved. The reader is cryptographically decoding the payload that's being sent over NFC. So if you had like a sniffer, you know, if you're like a bad actor and you're sniffing the traffic between the phone and the reader, what's going to come across is all encrypted, and it's on a per session. So every time you scan, there's a pseudo-random number that's generated, and that token is used to sign the data that's going across. So every interaction is signed. And so the private key that is able to decrypt the payload is stored into the secure element of the reader. So if you were to sort of like, hack the reader and has a bunch of like hardware protections like fuses that pop and ultimately prevents you from getting access to the private key.
No.
I don't know why you
not
can
like
check
that
the
router
compatible. I don't know if there's something there, but I can show you that later. So basically what we're doing here, and just I'm gonna kind of fly through here only because I really just want to cover the basics. But yeah, we have the PassNinja API, which is what issues the passes, and we'll get to that and we'll walk through it so you can get a better grip of what that means. And so when you use the PassNinja API, you provide it with metadata like the user's name. In this case, we're doing secure access, so I'm issuing a credential to log myself in, so it's for a staff member for a particular company, so you want to maybe brand the pass so that it has the branding of your company and the look and feel, and so that all goes into the pass bundle, and then it gets signed in the PassNinja server with the encryption key that goes into the reader. And so that same encryption key needs to go into this reader, which then is put onto this Mac laptop, and then when the lock screen is present and you present that pass onto the reader, it does the keystrokes to sort of bring up the login prompt and enter the password. All right, so we're gonna go through a couple things here on creating a pass. But beyond creating the pass, the steps of doing the Apple script and setting up this background process are going to be probably going to be a little. We'll probably run out of time, so we'll see how we go. So this is what happens when you first log in to PassNinja. You create an account. I skipped the process because we do this, phone, PIN code, syncing in order to make sure that you are who you say you are and a real person and not a bot. So that just could save us some time. So if I'm going to create a template, so this is fucking on. Let's see why that is. Yeah, give that a moment. But yeah, basically when you create a pass template, you define there's 4 different pass types that we support: loyalty, coupons, ticketing, and access control. Now the access control is the one that I'm using for this particular use case. Yeah, access control is, or rather each pass type has a different rendering format. So this is all defined by Apple and Google. And so they basically have a structure of like, if it's a loyalty card, then you have like a, area for like an image for the person's face. You have an area for the logo. You can define the background color, that sort of thing. Yeah, I'm wondering why this is getting stuck.
You on the Wi-Fi?
Yeah. Okay, there we go. All right, so maybe this is still a little too small. So, all right, so I'm going to choose an Apple pass, right, category, and then I have here the 4 that I was telling you about. So we'll go with an access control And this is totally going to be like on the fly, so bear with me. I just wanted to kind of walk through it because it's also a way of testing out, you know, that everything's working. So here I have some credits already, so that's why it's not asking me for my credit card. Otherwise, you'd have a credit card here. Things that we do is like, you know, we automatically top you up at the end of every month. So if you go below like $10 in credits, like we'll add $20. That's what this is. And then what you're paying for is $21 for a pass template, which is what we're about to define. And then I'm putting $11 of credit, or that's what I'll be using for issuing 100 passes. So basically we charge 11 cents per pass per month. And that's for those that are installed by customers, right? So if it's just issued, but the customer doesn't click the link to install it, then you're not paying anything, right? As the manager. So we'll create that pass template. Hopefully that'll load quickly. All right, great. So here, we have a few options, right? You know, and this is kind of our pass renderer. You'll see like, you know, where this is what it'll sort of look like in the wallet. We can upload a logo. So I've set up some basic logos here. Put my, this is from my Flomio company. This is the one that, right? And so I'll set that up. And then we'll set an icon. Got here the Spark icon for Flomio. Add that. And then it asks you, like, you know, is this going to be required when you use the API? You know, because some of the things you might just have standard for the template, which everybody who gets a pass is going to look exactly the same, right? Everybody has to have, you know, the logo. Everybody has to have the same background color. These are just branding decisions, right? But you can say, for instance, we want the top level. So the label color, we want it to be white. Let's say that we want the background color to be blue, and then we'll say that the actual value colors to be white as well. And so then here at the top, I'll say that I want, I don't really want something for the company name, just because I already have the logo, which has the name. Oh, for a thumbnail, I'll put a placeholder, have like a little headshot placeholder thing. So I'll add that. And then we'll remove, we don't want barcode. What we want is the NFC capability, right? So here's the NFC part. So we'll say we require that by API, and we'll put, this is where our password would go. So we'll just put no password for now, because this is just the default, right? We'll turn off all these other things. I guess this header label, I'll make that, this is, call it login. And we'll make that visible. And then we'll turn off all the other ones. All right, so, oh, here, we'll make this one, this I'll make my name, right? So for primary value text, I'll say this will be like user's name, just so that they have like a nice showing of their name along with their picture, and then we can turn off all the other ones. So by default, all these things are on, which just makes it really slow when you're uploading your metadata. So we're just trying to do this real quick. So I'll turn all this other stuff off. At the bottom though, we get to decide whether we want the pass to expire. And those can be interesting. So when do you want this pass to be valid until? So I'll say like, you know, I want him to, you know, change his password before the end of the year. Right, and we'll say those are required by the API. Right, so it's gonna look something like this. Pretty simple, using the NFC, and so I'll publish that. Hopefully there's no errors. And so once this is published, I can go, still waiting for it. Let's see here. Okay, publish changes, okay. So now I can basically go to my getting started page, and then here we just have like you know, a set of different like client libraries, so all the popular coding languages, you know. I'm a big Python guy, so I'm gonna stick with Python, but you see we have all the others, and then, you know, we just kind of include the code to kind of run this thing. So we'll just copy paste this, and this is what you'll have to run in order to create a pass, okay? So we gotta fill in these, you know, like, well, we have to add them, the ones that we turned on, which actually we probably have to improve that so it could just be, you know, really easy, but I'll fix that in a second. But the first thing is we're gonna have to install the client library, right? I just started literally fresh. I wanted like all the steps so you guys could see it. And so the first thing is you know, when you run Python, you gotta have like a virtual environment. Maybe you guys have done that before. It's a little pain in the ass, but so in order to do that, we got to do this thing, Python -m virtual env, right? And so then that'll create like, you know, a private Python environment. Then we want to activate that thing, which will do that. And so now we're in Python, this natural environment. And so then we're going to need to install a couple libraries, right? So the PassNinja client library. So we'll do a pip install PassNinja, right? And it's gonna be like, wait, is that able to do it? Okay, great. The other thing, so it was able to find PassNinja in the pip dependency library, right? Otherwise, you would have to download the GitHub, and so we've actually been able to add it to pip, and we've added it to Ruby Gems, and we've added it to so it'll be real easy. You know, PassNinja is not a popular name, so that's all you need to remember is just the install module name is PassNinja. So once that's installed, we're ready to basically run our script. So our account ID and API key are included already, so we don't have to copy paste anything there. We're going to be creating a pass. This is our pass template ID, which was for this particular pass that we're creating. So now all we have to do is figure out like, all right, what are the terms that we need to enter, right? And so the first one is this NFC message thing, right? Which is defaulting to no password, but we're gonna wanna set it to our password, right? So here we're gonna say, instead of altitude, we're gonna say NFC message, and we'll say, you know, my password. And then the next one is, this login is a default, so we're not gonna be changing that, but the name of the person who's gonna have the pass is username, so we're gonna change that to my name. So right now it's, where did I miss it? Oh, here it is. So right now it's set to primary value text. So, and you can name these fields at whatever you want, right? So in my case, it's gonna be Richard Grundy, if I can spell. And what else do we need? Well, the picture, right? I want it to look like me, not like that placeholder guy. So we're gonna need to figure out what that field name is. And so poses a little bit of an issue because it's like, well, I was able to upload here, but if I'm using the API, I'm gonna need to upload it some other way, right? So thumbnail URL, right? Gonna go here, so I'm gonna need to get some picture that's served online, which the one that I have isn't, so I use this Imgur thing, right, and so we'll new post, and then we'll grab this guy, that's me, So we'll grab this link. Now it's a little tricky because Imgur like wants to, you know, sell you a bunch of stuff. So the way to do it is you
oh yeah, the actual image link.
Yeah, you basically go to it and then you like right click this thing, and so it's a little bit of a hack. You know, copy image address, and then that's what you want to put in your thing. All right, and so that'll go there, and then the other thing we're missing is when this thing is going to expire. Make sure that it's going to be live there's a default, but sometimes that default gets kicked back. So we'll leave this out for now and see what happens. All right, so now this is our little there's a little script, so we got to save it. So I'm going to save demo.py, right? And so now if I go Python demo.py, let's see. All right, so we got an error. All right, and I wanted to go through this because this is kind of like the things that you'll end up encountering, so it definitely gets you. So the error is saying there's no module name request. So this Python client is making HTTP requests to basically call our API, so we just need to pip install requests, right? So it's gonna do that. And so then now we'll run it again. And it's saying missing relevant date and expiration date, because we basically added required creation for API and I only put in expiration date. So I need to put this in. Or I could basically turn that off and publish, right? And so then here, turn this one on, or actually we'll turn them both off. And let's wait for that. All right, so then now that that's saved, run this one more time. Great, so basically these three print statements here at the end are what's kicking out right here. It includes a URL, and this URL is the install URL. So if I copy that and then put it into my browser, thanks to continuity, I can copy it from here and then it's like paste here and it works. So then as soon as I go to that URL, it pops up the pass that we just designed. Now, it's not showing my face, so the immigrant thing might have failed, but we'll look at that. And the other thing I'm seeing is that we have an extra piece of text from the company section that is there that should be. So this is like the back and forth. But now that I have it in this state, I can basically add it to my wallet. And then now, if I open my wallet, there it is. And this has the symbol of hold near reader, which is the NFC capability that's built into the Apple Wallet. And so the other thing that I wanted to kind of go through is we'll fix these things that are sort of, the picture didn't show up or whatever. So we have, aside from creating passes, you can update passes. You can delete passes. You can do like full lifecycle management of the pass. And what's great is that once it's installed in your user's wallet, you're getting a direct connection to the pass holder. So if you go inside the wallet with the pass details, you can say like allow notifications or to turn on and off any type of alerts. There's geofencing. I mean, the wallets have all kinds of crazy technology, and so you can turn that on and off. But I think what's really interesting is like once someone installs your pass, you can basically send them messages, based on things, whether they're going into particular areas or whether you want to tell them, hey, somebody swiped your password or whatever. So I'm just going to do one of the update calls just to give you an idea of what that's like. We're going to change the expiration date, or actually, what we'll do is we'll change the thumbnail. See if we can get that thumbnail to work. Seems like upload or something. And if it doesn't work, well, it's no big deal. So we'll just comment out this part, right? And then instead of a create, we're going to be doing a put. And so here, we'll say the NFC message will stay the same. You don't need to change any of this. You just want to basically get that thumbnail in there, right? So that put message is just going to be, this is a thumbnail that I had from before, so maybe that'll work. Save that, and then we'll run demo.py again, and it's saying client error, pass is not found. Oh, so I didn't enter the pass type or the serial number. So where do I get that? Well, when I did my create, it not only gave me a URL, but it gave me the pass type ID, which is the template, right? So it wants that, so that's what goes here. And then it says it wants the serial number of the actual pass, because you could be issuing hundreds of passes, so you need to be able to identify which pass you're trying to update. So that goes in there. So you say that, and then run this again, and it's still complaining. Battery has, what doesn't it like now? I'm not quite sure what. Oh, is there one? No, client error there. Let's maybe, oh, because these other keys are also required. Maybe that's why. Yeah, the demo gods. Let's see if that helps. And if not, all right, it's thinking, which generally means that good things. All right, great. So it updated it. So let's see if we get like a picture now. So sometimes the push notification, because once the API takes the new metadata, it signs a new pass, it posts it on our back end, and then it sends a notification to the wallet to go and fetch it. So there's like a couple API calls running around back and forth. So sometimes it could take a moment, but yeah, well, that didn't. So I'll do something simpler. I'll say, instead of Richard Grundy, I'll say it's gonna be Ana Maria, my trusty cohort. Let's see if this works. All right, so the update went. Let's see. Yeah, it's not wanting to update. Yeah, it could be because of the networking issue. I don't know why we got. Oh, there it goes. So yeah, so now it says Ana Maria instead of Richard. And this goes with the password. I mean, the only reason that this pass that I've created, I haven't messed with the password, is because the readers are all configured for each pass template. So since we just made this pass template, there's a whole bunch of configuring that I have to put that private key that would actually be able to decrypt this particular set of passes. And so I saved that, you know, so I'm basically using, you know, this other pass that I made before coming to show you the demo. But that's basically it. I don't know if you have questions, but thank you so much for
To get the initial pass, can it be sent through an email, or do you have to have an app downloaded?
Yeah, so it's just a URL, so you can email it. You know, we have that integration in the back end with Postmark, so we send out the emails.
And that'll still allow you to get push notifications from the pass in the wallet?
Yeah, so the step of installing the pass is independent of once the pass is already installed and you want to update it, right? So the first time you create it and you get that URL, you have to get it to the user so that they click it, and they have to click it from their phone, whether it's on Apple or Google. It needs to be on the resident device, because the pass actually gets stored in the secure element of the hardware. So it needs to provision it like on the hardware. So you send them the URL, whether it's by email or by text message or by copy pasting in the case of what I did. But essentially, once it's clicked on the phone, then it does the provisioning, stores the payload, you know, securely, and then at that point it registers. It does like a webhook, and this is just backend stuff, but it does like a webhook, and that webhook is what stores a device ID on our backend, and that allows us to then send push notifications. So that all that wiring and infrastructure is happening in the background.
Yeah.
I have a question. I saw in the other templates you had like loyalty.
Yep.
So, how does that work on the back end? Because let's say, you know, I'm the IT department. I have some. We only deal with retail,
Mhm.
right? And we want to do loyalty cards for
Right.
for the customers.
Yeah, that's a popular use case.
Right. So how does it connect? For example, we use I'm in the retail space and we use like Paytronics
Mm-hmm.
for loyalty.
Okay.
Will that connect to for example like their API, and so that way you can have a card that's then connected to like their system?
Well, I'm not familiar with Paytronics, so I'd have to kind of maybe look it up to see.
How's the most popular use case?
So the loyalty card, for instance, it's a common thing where you have like after 10 stamps you get like a free whatever, right? Like so the way that the loyalty card renders is instead of having an image on the right, you got the whole image.
Mm-hmm.
So you get like a banner,
Right.
right? And then what? So then you can create the image and then you do the updating, but the logic of managing like, hey, this person just showed up,
Mhm.
it was scanned at the point of sale, you have to then write a little app on your point of sale to say, for that person, I'm gonna log a star or a check, right, a
Got
visit, and so then I'm gonna make an API call to PassNinja with a new image so that now one of the little slots is checked off, right?
Okay. Got
And
it.
so but that business logic is your app.
Got it,
All
got
we're
it.
doing is just managing
Providing
the
the
issuing
NFC,
and the
like-
updating and the of the passes. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you could do all kinds of really interesting things, like you can change the color of the pass because now maybe they've graduated into like a VIP, platinum, and so all these things, you can write platinum up here, and you could change like the number of points that they have. All those things are common use cases.
Nice.
Do y'all have any thought? Do you guys have any you mentioned tickets, and that immediately I organize community events sometimes. So
Yep.
like Eventbrite came to mind. Do you guys have any thoughts on doing like out of the box integrations for like big platforms like that or like?
Yeah. So actually, a Miami-based startup that uses us, Ticket Ferry. They do a lot of events with us. Another company called Rasa that does a lot of the tickets with us. Yeah, I mean it's again business logic. It's theirs. They manage it. They have their own back end with all the metadata of their customers. It's totally private.
Yeah, right.
All we do is just basically managing the issuance, right, and the full life cycle of the passes, both on Apple and Google, and we manage the provisioning of the hardware. So this reader, actually I brought one just to show you kind of like what it looks like. Okay. So this is how small it is.
Very cool.
So this PCB has the antenna for the NFC RF, to basically radiate from, and it's USB, micro USB in this case, but we have others that are USB-C, and like in this case, we just add like double stick tape to the back of it, and they're able to kind of just put it on the back of their phone, and then they use like mobile terminals, the same software that's running to do the keystroke management. You can put it in. We have like sample SDKs to kind of run that on a phone or an iPad. So it's real convenient. Yeah, real convenient for mobile use. And these readers, they're a little expensive now, but they're falling incredibly. I mean, I was introduced to a company 2 weeks ago, and they're under $100 now. Like, I mean, it's because of the amount of active components on this thing are so cheap. I mean, I see that this is going to be in anything. Like, you're going to have your 3D printer, with one of these things, and how you're going to manage rentals, any type of self-service you're going to be able to do with these type of identifiers in the wallets.
Very cool.
So there's a lot of really cool applications.
If you're allowed to say, like, how much are you charging this one company? Like, as I assume their usage is probably like a pretty good daily amount. Like, how much would you say it's charging them, costing them a month?
So I went through that in the beginning, but maybe missed it. It's we charge $21 for the pass template. So right here it says untitled pass template, but this is what I would call like, you know, my login template, right? We'll call it, throw me a login template. Right, so this template, which is Apple specific, right, costs you $21 a month to have, right? But let's say you're gonna issue, you know, 100 tickets and you're not growing staff pretty often, so you know a lot of our customers like, you know, spin up a template, they issue their passes, and then they delete the template,